The one piece of good news for the Republicans as a result of this election is still that they did technically win the House, right? They eked out a victory in the House. And soon to be, Speaker, we think, Kevin McCarthy goes on with Maria Bartiromo and says, I got a lot planned. I got a lot up my sleeve. And here's the first thing. I've got a piece of good news. And it actually is a piece of good news. He says he's convinced President Biden to throw away the mandate that active duty servicemen and women be vaccinated. So that's great. Like, that's actually amazing if he, in fact, did that. And so we're very excited and we're celebrating it. And then back to Karine Jean-Pierre. She comes out and she's like, wah, wah. That was before he spoke to the Pentagon and we really need to keep people safe, and pulled the rug out from under Leader McCarthy's first big victory and basically said, I couldn't really tell if it was a hard no or if it was just a probably not. But the first big victory of the McCarthy era seems not to exist. So what should they do? Because that actually would be a very popular thing for the president to do, and his poll numbers are not very good.
Jeez. I mean, what do you do? I mean, first, very briefly on Georgia, I just want to say that it does prove once again that the filthy politics of it all when Joe Biden said that the Georgia voting laws were creating Jim Eagle, which was Jim Crow times 2. It was Jim Condor or something. It was a large bird preceded by Jim. That turns out not to have been true. And the thing with Karine Jean-Pierre, I have no idea what to believe in that when it comes to the vax stuff, because as you hear in the clips that you showed previously, this is a person who's supposed to be enlightening the public, not doing battle with the press. Her job is to enlighten the public and, be that kind of sort of transportation of Joe Biden's confused ideas to the American people. And she refuses to answer a question squarely. I mean, the border thing, she's answering 5 different questions and saying, well, it's kind of none of your business. And so when you establish this for so long, every time I watch this woman's press conferences, I start, banging my head on the table till I have no sense of what is actually happening when I listen to her speak and her recapitulation of what the White House's ideas are. So I don't even know if that's true. I mean, the vaccination thing is lunacy. It's an easy victory for Republicans because there is no science at this point. I mean, keep in mind, I walked by a bar this morning.
Shocker.
I wasn't drinking this morning. I walked by the bar, Matt. I tried to go in, but they were closed. And it said, you have to be vaccinated to come into this horrible, dingy bar. And it's just still up on the wall. And I was like, do they realize that we had this when we thought the vaccine was preventing transmission? We've known that that's not true for well over a year now. And where are we? We're still fighting these. These are the people that believe the science, right? We're always talking about believing the science. These are just now boring political battles that you could grant not even just McCarthy a victory here. It's just, the ease of, running a military, of having to have everybody vaccinated when that really doesn't matter anymore. It seems like an easy victory, but I mean, they're going to make a political battle out of absolutely everything.
This is like such a no-brainer. I mean, it's so stupid. And by the way, we will 100% catch way more diseases from the disgusting faucets on the sinks in such places than we will from anybody breathing their COVID breath on us. Honestly, it's such a quandary what to do. I now have my hand sanitizer, and I'm not a big hand sanitizer person. I'm not one of those people who's like spraying myself with it every place. But the public restrooms, this is the place where we need the hand sanitizer, because touching the toilet flusher, touching the sink faucets,
passionate issue for Megyn.
Yes, I'm really, and like, then I want to use my foot to flush the flusher. I don't want to touch the flusher. But then I'm like, what am I doing for my fellow humans? I don't want to touch my foot to the flusher. What if the next gal comes in and she uses her actual hand? So you've got to have the hand sanitizer. What they need is the automatic door. They need to hit it with your elbow so the door opens and closes without hand-to-hand contact.
Where are you hanging out? These are places that I hang out where you leave with diseases. You have money. What are you doing?
And you
need new friends.
You need the hand sanitizer right in and outside of the door. The automatic kind where you put your hand under and you just do this, and you never have to touch anything. You don't have to touch the faucets. It's disgusting. And I'm thinking about it, frankly, because of the airplanes. The airplanes those are the worst. I don't even know what that water is that comes out of there, right? Like they give you the toothbrush sometimes, like on an overnight flight. Do not put your toothbrush under that water, for the love of God.
No.
I'm going through this with my kids. I'm like, no, take your bottle of water in there. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Here's the actual quote, or here's what, that's not a quote, but here's what KJP said on the vaccine mandate for the active duty guys. She says, well, McCarthy raised it. He raised it with President Biden. So clearly they had a conversation. But the president told him he would consider it, but also made clear that he wanted to consult with the Pentagon. And since then, as we've all heard, the Secretary of Defense has recommended retaining the mandate. And that's because the COVID vaccination requirement was put in place to keep our service members safe and healthy and prepared for service. She does not explain how this vaccine does any of that, to the point that you guys were just raising. Okay, so that's that.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt that Biden actually made that promise. No doubt whatsoever. How many times have they had to walk back the things that Biden says in public? Of course, we're going to assassinate Vladimir Putin. We have to remove him from office. Like, no.
Well, and remember, he even said on 60 Minutes the pandemic was over. You know, Biden, I think, sees where we really are on this pandemic. It's his crazy cabal around him of woke leftists who won't let go of any of this stuff. And some of them live not just in D.C., but out in L.A., where they may soon reimpose the indoor mask mandate. Can you believe this? Who would live there with these lunatics running the city? They say they're at medium in terms of the spread right now. And that means they're at 185. The weekly rate is 185 per 100,000 residents. And if it goes up to just 200 cases per 100,000 residents, that's high. And they will reimpose the mask mandate. And people will follow it. They will put the damn masks on, and they will mask up their kids, and they will comply because they're good little citizens, good little boys and girls that do what the governor or the whatever mayor tells them to do. It's stomach turning. Can you imagine putting a mask back on pursuant to a city mandate?
No.
It's already happening, by the way, in New York City, in LA. If you go to, where I am right now and go to the Whole Foods, about 50% masked. It's the virtue signal of people who live in these neighborhoods. I mean, they don't need
not a mandate.
Not a mandate, but they don't need to be told, and they would happily accept that mandate, I think, if it happened to California. I mean, California, you have bigger problems than the spread of something that is seasonal and is going to tick up around these times every year. I had it about a month ago. In California, you're more likely to be stabbed by a deranged hobo when you're walking down in Venice Beach than you are getting something that everyone survives, provided you're not grossly overweight or elderly. So no, this has nothing to do with science. It has everything to do with politics. It has everything to do with sort of fan service for the people who vote for very progressive politicians. Let's just say who they are in places like New York City and LA. There's no secret or mystery to it.
It should be noted that Los Angeles led the country, as far as I saw recently, in population loss over the past year. A lot of different factors that go into that. But I'm sure if there are people who don't like to live that way, don't like to follow those kind of diktats, then they skedaddle, which they have done from New York City as well. There's no reason for this. And they've done this a couple of times already in both Los Angeles and the state of California. They've gone up, they've threatened, they've said it's going to happen. We're going to reimpose mandates. And then at the last minute, they kind of blink. It's almost as if they want to let you know that they still could. They still want to. Just to get yourself ready for that at some point. It's astonishing. We had a mask mandate on toddlers here in New York until May 2022. I still can't get over it. California, they put yellow tape on playgrounds. They put sand on skate parks. They pulled people out of the ocean to enforce
the beach
science.
The vector of transmission, the beach in California.
We can't let this go. The same people did this stuff and are still pushing these policies. And the vax mandate on the military, who do you want? Who do you think fights the wars? Are they the people who follow the order in my neighborhood in Brooklyn that you only find in bookstores? That's the only mask requirement that people still take seriously in bookstore. That's weird. In Brooklyn. No, it's the type of people who don't follow mandates are the ones who are probably going to pick up a gun and maybe defend the country. It's ridiculous. There's no science behind it. New York State threw this out in court. The vax mandate on state employees and government employees. We should do that for our military, considering that we have a manpower shortage in this country, labor shortage across all sectors, but particularly ones involving muscles.
Bon Charge is a holistic wellness brand with a huge range of evidence-based products to optimize your life in every way. Founded on science and inspired by nature, all Bon Charge products adopt ancestral ways of living in our modern-day world. From blue light glasses to red light therapy to EMF management and circadian-friendly lighting, Bon Charge products help you naturally address the issues of our modern-day way of life effortlessly. Their glasses come in non-prescription, prescription, and in reading options. Bon Charge also has other amazing products like low blue light bulbs, red light therapy devices, EMF 5G protection, and 100% blackout sleep masks. Love those, all backed by science. They can ship worldwide in rapid time, and most importantly, they have easy returns and exchanges. Go to boncharge.com/MK and use the coupon code MK to save yourself 20% off your order. That's BONCHARGE.com/MK and use that coupon code MK to save 20% off your order. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.